Hey guys, welcome to Take 5. Here we are for 5 minutes of devotion, 5 days a week. Today we are reading out of Matthew 6 and Psalm 17. We're going to pick up our reading here in Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 14. It says, "After this manner therefore pray you, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation," if you know it, let's quote it, "but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen."
Amen. Well, those are certainly some familiar verses and ones that most of us memorized if we grew up with any type of religious education whatsoever. And I think it's interesting. I just heard somebody say, of all the things that Jesus's disciples, the only thing that they ever asked him to teach them was to pray. And in response to his disciples' request, he gave them this teaching, but I don't think it's really was meant to be memorized and recited. It was really a pattern. It's a pattern that's just simple words that gives us a method that's appropriate for any one of us, that we can incorporate it with our own language and our own situation. It's not just something to memorize and recite, but it's like a template for approaching God. And we approach God with reverence, not with any pretense. God, you're our Father. You're holy.
Yes.
And today we come to you and we have these needs and we personalize this. Fill in the blank. He wants us to make our requests known to him. We ask him for the daily necessities. And then we also do take into account, God, I'm struggling here. Maybe you could help me. And I need to be treating people. Help me with the way I treat others. That's all part of this. All of how we get our prayers heard and answered actually hinge on how we treat others. Think about that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that takes us to the good question then at the end. If we take kind of a fresh look at the Lord's Prayer in our own perspectives, how can we use the pattern to frame our interaction with God in a more meaningful way?
Well, I think first of all that noting that it really is comes full circle, because it's like our Father who art in heaven, and then you've got all this stuff in the middle, your daily needs, your relationships, and then he's like, for yours is the kingdom and the glory. He's so big, he's so immense, he's so amazing, and these little things that we have in light of eternity, they're so small, but if we would compare the amount of grace we're given by the amount of grace we have to give to others, it's just exponentially a totally different sum. But how can we take this to make a pattern out of it? Really think about, fill in the blank. Today, what is my need? Today, what is God's will? What's his will in my little patch of earth that needs to be attended to today? And God, is there any unforgiveness in my heart today towards anyone that I need to address? And help me, Lord, not to give in. I just struggle every time I go to that place and have to be with that person, and give me grace, give me strength.
Yes.
What about you? You're Miss Pattern Lady.
Well, if you can look at your life from that pattern, always starting with acknowledgement of who God is.
Yes.
He's our Father, and He is in heaven. That place of superiority over us, that place of power and control. And my life is dedicated to Him, and all the way down to the forgiving of others or the treating of others. But I believe that this prayer, because it is so well loved and so memorized throughout all of Christendom, I believe it makes us better people. If we can, just like the 10 Commandments, all the principles just make us better people. So today, why don't you, yes, you right there, go down into the comments and write something down that you think that you could maybe frame your conversation with God in a little better way with the use of the Lord's Prayer. And we will see you tomorrow. Check it out. All right. God bless.
God bless you.